I hate love triangles, and today I'm going to tell you why. Hi guys, it's Samantha, and I am here today with a discussion video. Today I want to tell you why I think love triangles suck. So for a while now, love triangles have really bothered me. I feel like they're everywhere. They're just everywhere, and I can't take it anymore because I feel like they're just permeating every single form of media, and it is driving me insane. So this video is meant as no disrespect for people who might like love triangles. I'm sure there are some decently produced love triangles out there. I just haven't encountered them yet. This is just my personal opinion and why I don't like them, and I figured it would make for an interesting discussion topic, and so I'm here today to tell you guys why I don't much care for them. So the first reason why I don't like love triangles is I always feel like they are forced. They never feel natural at all. Whenever I encounter them in books or even on TV, they just don't feel like they flow naturally. I feel like the author is just putting it in there because they feel like that is what the viewer or the reader wants, and that is what they're going to provide them with, when in my case personally it's not what I want. I would much prefer the book not to have them. They just never feel natural. They just feel very affected and forced, and it's just not my thing. I mean, I'm sure they happen in real life. I've never been involved in a love triangle, but I don't feel like they're as frequent as they seem to be made to appear in television, movies, books, even video games. Just no, I can't take it anymore. Another thing I hate about love triangles is that 9 times out of 10, I feel like it does nothing but weaken the female protagonist. It always seems to perpetuate negative female stereotypes of being overly emotional, not knowing her own mind, acting like a meek, mindless thing, and it annoys the heck out of me. No. It always shows a weak-willed woman that just can't make up her mind, but it's always up to the male character to prove why he is worthy and why she needs to choose him, because she just can't decide, so he's going to decide for her. That type of an attitude, and it just bugs me. It's like, no, let's stop. Let's hold back here now. First of all, I don't need no man. I can perfectly fend for myself and make my own decisions, and it just drives me nuts, which leads me to another point. Why is it always a female love triangle? Meaning, why is it always a female protagonist with 2 males? It doesn't make any sense. I have never seen a love triangle where it is 1 man and 2 women. It's always a heterosexual female, and it's like, why? Why can't you, if you're going to do a love triangle, can't you diversify your love triangles a little bit? Why? I have yet to encounter a love triangle that I actually like. The closest it can come to is from the Alana series between Alana, George, and John. Even then, it's not really a love triangle because Alana's not really in love with George. It's like John. It's just, no, I haven't encountered. I've also noticed that they really seem to have creeped up in certain years. Like, they didn't, I feel like you never used to encounter them that much in literature, like older books from the 80s and 90s. I'm sure you did, and I probably just wasn't aware of them, but I feel like there's just been an explosion of love triangles all over all forms of media, not just in books. And so I was trying to think about how this could have come about, and I feel like it kind of traces back to Twilight with Bella, Edward, and what's-his-face, whose name I'm forgetting right now, Jacob, that's his name. And if I was thinking about it, and if you think about it, when those movies and those books came out, the people who owned the merchandise and things made off of that book series and movie series, they made a lot of money off of making Team Edward and Team Jacob things. There was t-shirts, there was notebooks, there was everything you can imagine featuring Team Jacob, Team Edward. And I think that a lot of publishers and directors, producers, etc. seem to think that if they incorporate a love triangle into their media somehow, that they're going to make a lot of money off of it by pitting fans against each other, which to me creates a very negative fan culture. You're pitting groups of people against each other. I mean, I wasn't involved in it, but I've heard from other people who were involved in the Twilight fandom. Things got incredibly ugly and negative between the people who were fans of Jacob and Edward, and it got heated and nasty things happened. And that's not good. You're creating a really negative environment for people. Reading movie watching, things like that should be a wonderful, social, fun experience, but you're creating it into a very negative thing, which I don't think is right. So I feel like this is kind of where this has sprung from. It has sprung from the Twilight phenomenon. They seem to think they can like create a crash cow out of it by doing it to everything. I mean, even in the Hunger Games, the movies, they kind of tried to create a Team Gale, Team Peeta thing, where if you read the books, that really wasn't in the books. I mean, Katniss was pretty strong-willed. She was kind of like, no, both of you just shut up and let me deal with this thing right now. I need to help people deal with this thing, and then I can think about whether or not I want to be in a relationship with somebody. But if you watch the movies, it's almost like they're trying to force the romance into there, and there again, it just feels awkward and forced. I mean, we even see it in things where there was no love triangle existing, such take the Hobbit movies that Peter Jackson is doing. He added this love triangle between Toriel, female elf who is not in the Hobbit movies, Legolas, who is not in the Hobbit books whatsoever, and I think it's Gimli. No, okay, I understand why Peter Jackson did it in part, because there was no female characters in the Hobbit, so he wanted to add a female protagonist of some kind. I totally get that and I respect that, but I feel like he cheapened that character by turning it into a romance and a love triangle. You know, it is perfectly acceptable to have a female character without having a romance, particularly a love triangle. That is what annoyed me. It did not annoy me that he added Toriel as a character. What annoyed me was him making it into a romantic love triangle. Just no, it was completely unnecessary. It cheapened her character, and it just drove me nuts, more than the fact of just adding her. Plus, they added Legolas, who wasn't even in the books to begin with, and I feel like the only reason they added Legolas is because everybody wants to see Orlando Bloom, and that would draw more people. But whatever, that's a topic for another video. So I just feel like they're everywhere you look. It doesn't matter where you look anymore, there is a love triangle in everything, and it is driving me nuts. So people, authors, producers, directors, whoever, writers, just step back for a minute and think, does your audience really want a love triangle? I don't know. I know I personally don't. I would like to hear your guys' opinion. Let me know down in the comments if you like love triangles and if you liked seeing them in books and movies and whatever form of media that you consume. If you seek them out, how much do you really like love triangles? Because I'm curious to see how much people really enjoy them. If the audience out there actually does like encountering them or not. Or if I'm just alone over here in my hatred for love triangles, let me know. Because personally, I feel like that it boils down to a rather negative and pointless plot point that just ends up dragging out a story and dragging the story down and the narrative down. But that could just be me. Let me know down in the comments. I hope I didn't offend anybody. This is just my personal opinion, and I'm curious to see how everybody else feels about love triangles. I feel like this is a very interesting discussion to have, and I'm curious to hear everybody else's opinions on it. So just let me know. I'd like to have a conversation with you down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!